we can't really do anything serious. At the outset, I must say, I'm here not to be liked, but to be honest. I'm happy to be a part of this convention of global Goans, as they give us an opportunity to gain collective understanding, seek consensus about challenges facing modern Goan society, and through pursue just solutions through cooperation, collaboration, and community. We are all conscious that Goa is passing through a major transition, and in that process, our civil, our political, our social, our cultural rights are under constant assault. The Goan culture has been waxing and waning over the last few centuries. Religion, language, cuisine, sport, tradition, etc. And here we are today, come a long way from being that hippie discovery of the 60s. But trends indicate that we may finally be reaching a saturation point of concern. The fascination for Goa and the quality of the destination of Goa is being heavily competed for, nationally and internationally. And it is no longer governments who decide this, it is private equity. Private equity can build towns and build cities, and governments will follow because that helps employment, etc. There is a cloud hanging over us, globalization. Our century is 10 years young. Globalization is creating a world without borders. It makes us painfully aware of our limitations as we prepare for future challenges. Globalization makes it clear that social responsibility is not only that of governments or of companies, but of individuals. It's the responsibility of yourself and myself. The pace of globalization in the last 10 years has surpassed the capacity of our system to adjust to new realities in this interdependent world. Changes the last 10 years. The BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, where were they before? A black president in the United States of America, it was nearly a lady president. A wonderful lady of Italian origin leading 1 billion Indians and doing a great job. We are following her. Nothing wrong with that. My compliments. It's all about what's new. It's all about what's different. And it will not wait for you or me. It will not wait for tomorrow. The most successful economies today are those economies that embrace change. Through us, the Goan economy must embrace that change. It is not our words that change people's minds, but it is our deeds. As Mahatma Gandhi said, we must become the change we want to see in this world. I urge politicians to be statesmen. Do not think of the next election, but think of the next generation. We do not need a brand of politicians. Politics is a very sensitive topic, but we do not need a brand of politicians with agendas that buy votes and treat voters as commodities, creating a family environment, redefining democracy to family rule from people's rule. The sophisticated and the rich preach good governance, but do they actually go out to vote? We must urge this class of population to come out in large numbers and defeat opportunistic politics. There are three kinds of people. One, who make things happen. The second, who things happen to. And the third kind of people who say, what happened? We've got to decide who exactly we are and which kind of people we fit into. I suggest two overviews to the global Goan. The first, the global Goan who is facing personal issues in regards to his association to Goa, through procedures, educational acceptability, the bureaucracy, all that paperwork, secretaries and panchayats, etc., etc. Basically that NRI Goan who looks to Goa for his annual holidays and for his retirement. Is that the important Goan? The second, the global Goan who is interested in the fabric and direction of modern Goan society. That's where we are. We Goans are inherent immigrants. We've said it before several times. We love to leave our land, from Africa to every other part of India, to every other part of the world. And they all have successful Goan communities, all welcomed with open arms, who proudly say, I am from Kuwait, my brother's in Canada, I work for this multinational in Mumbai. Where does the Goanism fit into this? That's what they say. I've had 4 very enlightening days in Kuwait, my first trip to Kuwait, and it's been a very big eye-opener. While the non-Goan immigrant is slowly but surely making inroads into creating influential positions into directing Goan politics and business. And we Goans, on the other hand, and it's sad to say that, are fighting a losing battle in trying to keep them out. We will not keep them out, and that will not change. We are trying to preserve our culture, and we have this great concern of preserving our identity. These outsiders, we must note, are not destroying Goa. They are seeking opportunity in the very same land that we Goans are leaving and going away from. And as rightly said, there are more Goans out of Goa than Goans in Goa. And how can we actually feel for the need of Goa when the very reason that we are gathered here today is because we have left Goa, and as many suggest that they don't have an intent of returning, probably except for the Middle East that does not offer them a longevity in terms of status and residence. So we have to be very clear in what we want and why we are doing it. Many complain of the degeneration of our land over the last 2 decades. We blame the locally run Goan bureaucracy and administration, or do we look the other way and blame the outsider? I'll just briefly go through problems. Mining dust pollution, aquaculture pollution, plastic carry bags, garbage and solid waste disposal, noise pollution in certain tourist areas, destruction of mangroves, coastal violation by hotels, big problem, Regional Plan 2021, the Russians, the Israelis, poor water supply, health, dangerous Goan roads, sex crimes, drug trafficking, corruption, immigrants taking our land. The Regional Plan 2011 is becoming Regional Plan 2021, and we are still waiting. Kuwait was actually rebuilt in that same time. The Konkan Railway had the Alignment Committee. I was in college at that time in Goa. Then it had the Anti-Alignment Committee. That was not going anywhere, so they had the Realignment Committee. And then they had the Anti-Realignment Committee. And now they can't live without Konkan Railway. Why are we almost 10 years late? I mean, are we developing rocket science in Goa? I think probably many of the Goans do believe that we are kind of pioneering rocket science. We have our issues, there's no doubt about that. Everybody has the issues. What we need is resolution. We need decision makers, statesmen, politicians who are decision makers, and people who can sit down and seek consensus. We have problems. What is a world without problems? A story comes to mind of a man who had all these problems, and he said, you must solve my problems in this, in absolute and no uncertain manner. You have to solve my problems. And he was taken 2 blocks down the road to a local cemetery, and he was told, and you see that? Those are people without problems. We, with consensus and debate and negotiation, only find resolution. We hear about solutions, and with strong focus on education and youth, we will change the quality of a society and attract the best quality of immigrants, the best quality of tourists, business partners, the best quality of governance, and more important, the best quality of lifestyle. They say, give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you will feed him for life. Professional skills are becoming obsolete as we stand and speak out here. The world is reinventing itself every 3 to 5 years. Our youth are voting us out as we gather here today through their Facebooks and their Twitters. They are choosing lifestyle. They are not choosing culture. They are not choosing Goa. So let's not kind of fool ourselves into where things are really going. Human capital. Human capital. Education is close to the heart of every Goan. There must be immense importance attached to having good educational institutions providing opportunity to our youth at primary, secondary and tertiary levels. The image of Goa will only change when government, business, society undergo a renaissance in innovation. New ideas, new policies, new laws, new products, new services, new businesses. Perception is as important as reality. What we enjoy and take for granted today was somebody else's dream and somebody else's idea yesterday. In the case of Goa, what kind of an image does the state project? Fun and more fun? Is that a desirable image? How is our human capital? How is our human capital in Goa shaping the future of our state? We must ask ourselves that question. Goa needs to be a center of intellectual excellence, a center that defines a new agenda of ideas that initiate cutting-edge activity. We must become a hub for research, for training, publishing, scholarly exchanges, cultural activities, where people and ideas can mix seamlessly. We are one of the most literate states in this country. If we do not act now, we do not even stand a chance. India has 700 million people living on below $2 a day. And we have our fair share. Let us not deceive ourselves about existing realities. We must understand that the philosophy of the schoolroom in this generation will be the philosophy of the government in the next generation. And we cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. When we left India, it was not easy. We went through difficult times, leaving family, leaving friends, saving pennies, working hard, working our way through. It worked out. We made it happen. Why? Because we embraced change. Even though it was uncomfortable, we embraced change. We walked away from a lot. One writer of ancient times said, we must walk through the valley of darkness. Even though there are shadows, there's death, there's difficulty, there's blame, there's ridicule, there's criticism, there's loneliness around. But we continue to walk through that valley. And here is why we do it, because we can see the light on the other side. Can we see a better Goa? I'm deeply honored in addressing such an eminent and distinguished gathering, and I thank you for listening. God bless you, God bless Goa. Thank you.
Every speaker is unique in his message. I remember once, late Goan writer, freedom fighter, Sri Felicio Cardozo once said, "We are not Goans because we are born in Goa. we don't become foreigners if we are born in the foreign land. We are Goans because of our language. Our next guest, I'm sure, will surely start his speech in Konkani. I have pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome a well-known Goan in the Middle East, winner of Global Goans Leadership Award, a son of Kansauli, Goa, president of the famous Young Goans Club, Bahrain. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Francis Correa. And he has a message to the Goa government. Mr. Francis Correa.
His Excellency, Mr. Ajay Malhotra, Ambassador of India, Kuwait, Congress Working Committee member, our ex-Chief Minister, Mr. Luis Falero, S.K. Srivastava, Chief Secretary of the Goa, the First Secretary of the Indian Embassy, Kuwait, K. Narasinghe Rao, the Chairman of Goa Cultural Society, Mr. Carlos Santos, the President of Goa Cultural Center in Kuwait, Mr. Naik, distinguished members and guests, and the committee of organizing committee. Ani संवसाराक शिंपडलेले पूण आयज हांगासर एकठांय जाल्ले म्हजे गोंयकार भाव आनी भयणी, तुमकां सगळ्यांक मोगाचो नमस्कार. Greetings to you from Goans in Bahrain. Global Goans Sammelana कित्याक वता रे? A fellow Goans, Pedro, in Bahrain asked us, कितली संमेलनां जाली? एक कन्वेन्शनांनी कसलो फायदो जाला आमकां? आनी in reply, we asked him, बाबा, तूं गेल्या म्हयन्यान अकस्मात गोंया कित्याक गेलो रे? It was my son's first birthday year. I wanted to be a part of the celebration. Pedro replied. So also we told him we are going for the convention to celebrate the first anniversary of the Global Goan Convention in the Gulf. Pedro is probably partly true. For we are not achieving much from this convention. The NRI Goans present memorandum of our demands and desires. At this convention, we get positive response for 2 to 5, say out of 50. Question raised, and seasoned politician answers, and assurance for the rest. Now, any school student achieving 5 out of 50 and any class is never promoted but detained in the same class. So do we. NRI Goans at the end of the convention are detained in the same status to study our own problems and appear again for another next convention. Some having failed more than once have dropped out, and some have determined to get through. So here we are. This is the second Global Goan Convention to be hosted in the Gulf. Congratulations to the Goan Cultural Center, Kuwait, for getting this Global Goans together here. I have no memorandum to request or to place before the NRI Commissioner or any government agencies today. But it is our greatest pleasure to take this opportunity to address Goans, community leaders from different parts of the world who are converged here today. Especially the Gulf Goans, for majority of the Goans in the Gulf will eventually return and settle down in Goa at the end of their job or assignment in the Middle East. And the fear is, when we decide to return to Goa, we may not find Goa. Goa and Goans are marching towards the golden jubilee of our liberation. Many lives were lost during the long struggle to liberate Goa from the Portuguese rule. It was Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia who kindled a flame of freedom in the hearts of and minds of Goans, and with the infamous rally at the Lohia Garden on 18 June 1946. Peaceful attempts to gain independence for Goa having failed, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ordered the armed forces to liberate Goa by force, and we gained freedom on 19 December 1961. Goans heaved a sign of relief and happiness. Goa was now to be ruled by Goans. But 50 years down the lane today, we are still fighting our rulers. And we are fighting to save Goa. We are fighting to resist in cutting of hills and destruction of greenery. We are fighting to stop mega projects that put pressure on the infrastructure, including roads, electricity, water, garbage disposal, not forgetting the changes that we'll see in the demography of Goa. Goa does not need development, but it gives of development Goa first. Hills, rivers, fields, and ecology are being destroyed by the developers with the blessing of our corrupt politicians. At the time of liberation, Goa's population, we have thought it was 6,000, but Mr. Falero has said about 7 lakhs. Today, it is estimated at 1.5 million, and over 1/3 of it consists of non-Goans. Goa is a state in the Union of India. Every citizen of the country is free to live in any part of the country. But the influx of migrant, especially the river class, that we are witnessing in our tiny Goa is destroying the unique fabric of Goan society. They grab the beautiful chunk of land on the riverfront or on small hillocks and put up illegal shelters. Our politicians provide them with electricity, water, and even roads. No matter their settlement is legal or not. Economically, these migrants are very poor, but their vote makes them strong. The increase in crimes such as theft, murder, rapes, etc. can also be attributed to this influx, as there is a tendency to commit crime to earn a livelihood if there are no suitable jobs. In Goan, at least known by the people in the village where he lives. Unfortunately, no one knows who lives in illegally created colonies. The pace at which non-Goans are increasing in Goa is creating an imminent danger for the preservation of our Goan identity. Our language, our culture, our song, our values system, and our way of life will be lost if the influx of non-Goans into Goa continues to grow at this rate. So whom do we turn to in this situation? The politician whom we elect to serve Goa, and Goan believes they are the masters. They have lost respect of the people for undermining the interest of Goans. So who is to be protected? So who is going to protect the captivating landscape of Goa that possess rich and varied charms and different attitudes? Goa has the history of victory for people power. The history opinion poll of 1967 to oppose the merger of Goa with Maharashtra led by the United Goans Party. The agitation of 1987 to get recognition to Konkani as the official language of Goa under the banner of Konkani Porchitso Awas are the two memorable examples of Goa's people victory against the rulers of Goa at respective time. Today, when our selfish and greedy politicians are bent on converting Goa into a concrete jungle, threatening the beauty and ecology of Goa, there is a glimmer of hope. Hope from the numerous non-government organizations fighting for the cause of Goa and Goans. In the recent past, there have been a massive demonstration in Goa under the banner of some prominent NGOs to protect Goa. We are not promoting any NGOs, but the prime NGOs that comes to our mind is Save Goa. Goa Bachao Abhiyan, a voluntary association of individuals and groups, and that is committed to the planned development of Goa. I place this sincere appeal to the world Goan community leaders and present here, the organizers of this event, to pass a resolution at this event extending support and strengthening the hands of such NGOs that are fighting to save Goa. Fighting to save its environment and ecology for posterity. Fighting to protect the unique identity of Goa. If we are able to gather our opinions on these issues here at this convention, we can send a strong message to the government of Goa through our Commissioner, Sir Edward Falero, who is not here, but the other government representatives present here. Message to take the NGOs into confidence for the development of Goa. And why the NGOs? Goa Bachao Abhiyan, for example, has prominent and qualified Goans from across the section society, engineers, architects, environmentalists, doctors, entrepreneurs, and they know what is good for Goa and much better than our 40 MLAs. Message to remind our Goa government that when Goans have failed to achieve their goals through peaceful means and attempt, we have won by force our liberation. A message to remind our government that we Goans have history of victory for people's power, the opinion poll, and the recognition of Konkani as its official language of Goa. Will the government listen to us, or is it time to protect Goa by force or by people's power? My dear Goan community leaders, this convention is providing us a platform to think Goa. Let us resolve to lend our support in all forms of residents and NGOs fighting to save Goa or else. When it's time for us to go back home and settle Goa, we will find ourselves as strangers in our own land. With this resolution placed before you all, I conclude with words of our eminent Goan poet Manoharai Sardesai. He says in one of his poems, संसारांत रावलो खंय तरी ताच्या मनांत गोंय आमी सदांच दोळ्या मुखार दोळच्यो मांडयो माड तोच खरो गोंयकार जय गोवा जय हिंद म्हजे मोगाळ गोंयकार भावांनी जे हांवें आज आवाजला तें जावन आसलो कच्चो स्पीच म्हजो एकदम बरो आमी सोशल वर्कर Gabriel Brasco, award winner of the club, but कांय कारणाक लागून तो येवंक ना. आमी सगळे गोंयकार बारीन एकवटान रावतात, एकवटान चिंतात आनी एकवटान भोंवतात. आनी ताकाच लागून आमी सगळ्यांनी एकठांय जावन हो स्पीच आयतार केलो. आनी तुमच्या मुखार हो आमी घातला. देव बरें करूं.
Thank you, Mr. Francis Correa. Well, Goa has a great history of drama and theatre, and NRI Goans have significantly contributed to uphold the values of this art. Our next speaker was born in Pune and is a resident of Pune, and he commenced writing in Konkani at the age of 11 and has 3 books to his credit. Vajram, a book of Konkani proverbs with English interpretation. Konkani Cholchitra, a history of Konkani films, and Uttar Sol, a quiz on Goan diaspora. He has provided subtitles to the DVD film Buyaranzlo Munis. He was awarded the Jerry Braganza Award 2008 by Queenie Publications for his valuable contribution of research on Konkani films. He is also the recipient of Father Freddy J. Da Costa Award for Journalism 2010, awarded by the Delgado Konkani Academy. We have pleasure welcoming Mr. Isdor Dantas, a prominent Goan among us. He is going to speak and he is going to pip into theatre.
Respected dignitaries and my dear Goenkars, Theatre completes 118 years of its existence this year. Theatre is a unique form of art with no comparison. It was in the year 1892 that the first performance of theatre took place in erstwhile Bombay. Lucazin Ribeiro, a native of Asagaon, Goa, staged the first theatre entitled Italian Burgo. Lucasino was engaged as a backstage artist in a dramatic company. He learned the nuances of drama from the company. Those days, Italian operas were very popular in Bombay. Lucasino had a great love for Konkani and thought of producing such a show in Konkani. So he ventured into this field. His first task was the casting. He went on a hunt to search for actors, which he picked up from the clubs, and was successful in staging this maiden performance, which is now popularly called theatre. This first performance was held at New Alfred Theatre, Colaba in Bombay, which was near the present Police Commissioner's office. It was staged under the banner of Goa Portuguese Dramatic Company and was based on Goanzel's Brothers' Italian music show. Theatre is an updated version of earlier Zagors. During the staging of this maiden performance, Lucazin encountered many difficulties. Changing of the sets was a major problem. This had to be done without drawing the main curtain. He got a brainwave and introduced songs in between the acts so that he could get sufficient time in changing the sets. This is the best thing to have happened on the theatre scene. Music is in the blood of Goans. This is so because of the compulsory teaching of music in the church-run schools. Due to this, Goa has produced the finest musicians who have not only made their mark in popularizing the theatre, but have also adorned the Hindi film industry, which is now called Bollywood. To accommodate the changing of the sets, the theatre was therefore divided into 7 acts as compared to 2 or 3 acts of dramas of other languages. This interlude of songs has made the theatre very popular till today. These songs are not relevant to the story, and can be solos, duets, trios, quartets, or sextets. The topics chosen could be religious, social, political, and informative, and could depict tragedy, comedy, or satire. The songs are set to music which accompanies this form of art. For this, the musician has to be proficient in writing the music of the tune of the song. The minimum requirement for the band accompanying the theatre is trumpet, violin, guitar, and drums. The main story of the theatre also consists of songs relevant to the story. They are called Goans. Pune-based Pramod Kale, who is a visiting professor at the University of Philippines and a research associate with Columbia University, has done research on theatre. According to him, theatre is a celebration of Konkani. He says theatre is a language, medium of communication, a course or totemic symbol, a flag to rally around in fighting battles with establishment and authority. One would wonder why Lukaszyn, who was the pioneer of theatre, is not called the father of theatre, while this title is bestowed on João Agustin Fernandes, affectionately called as Pai Theatris, in whose name an auditorium in Ravindra Bhavan at Margam, Goa is named. As said earlier, Lukaszyn was working in a dramatic company and had to travel all over India, especially in cities like Madras, Simla, and Calcutta. But when the company ventured to move abroad, in places like Burma, Lukaszyn left the company, but not before staging some fine dramas entitled Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Carlos Magnus. Second reason is, like all Goan association, theatre was also faction-ridden. Another group emerged to stage the theatre, and Lukaszyn was left alone with no support. It is here that João Agustin came on the scene and took cudgels in bringing fine performances to prove theatre were far better than Zagos, which were looked down because of the abase fare they presented. João Agustin's theatre were of original nature and not adaptation. Some of João's works are in print. Now I am shifting to a scene outside Goa, pre-liberation. Let me recall my experience in childhood about theatres. The announcement of theatre came by way of a car decorated with posters with a loudspeaker announcing the arrival of theatre at a particular place, date, and time, and distributing leaflets. Those days children used to run to grab the piece of leaflet as if they were in prized possession of the entry ticket to the theatre. In the villages, the theatre was staged in the fields or open places with makeshift arrangement of stage and shamiana. There was no electricity and the shows were enacted with the use of kerosene petromax. As there were no mics, the actors had to shout out the dialogues and the singers had to sing loudly for the convenience of spectators. After performing the acts, the performers had to stay back till dawn to catch the nearest available transport to get back to their homes. I recite these events to bring to the notice that theatre has withstood so many hardships. The actors used to act merely for the love of Konkani and could not make this activity as part of their livelihood. It must be noted with interest that theatre did not get the support of government nor of any NGO. It's only after theatre celebrated the centenary in 1992 that the ball started rolling for providing befitting stages to this form of art. Many theatres have brought improvement to the theatre scene. In this connection, I recall an incident. Vasant Joglekar, a noteworthy name in a Marathi stage, once accompanied the famed late Prem Kumar to watch a Konkani drama of a top Konkani writer-director at Princess Theatre, Bangwadi, Bombay. The guest's reaction to the scene of a landlord's house against the backdrop of a jungle scene put Prem Kumar to shame. Here started the pursuit of Prem Kumar for the upliftment of Konkani stage. His love for Konkani made him bid adieu to Hindi films and to specialize in settings and visuals to the age of projectors and slides, a new concept he proved that theatre has come to stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Doctors, for highlighting some of the positive aspects of theatre. Now we have a short coffee break. I request Mr. Kama Santos and Mr. Suresh Naik to escort the dignitaries to the coffee table.
items to be presented now, and we look forward to your presence. We feel that nobody should miss this item. It has been a long day to all of us, and I'm sure the guests who have come from abroad to attend this Global Goans Convention are much satisfied by the organization of this event. We would like to present now an item, a unique item, which is going to take you by surprise. For the time, we await your presence inside the